You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome to Inspiring Leaders. I'm Donna Newman, your host, and thank you for watching our program. Through this show, we meet community leaders and we examine how they're using their unique talents and skill sets to make a difference. And through our discussions, we hope to inspire others to discover and to share their own leadership abilities for the overall betterment of our community. Today on our show, we'll focus on the Women's Exchange of Memphis, an organization that's been serving our community since 1885 by helping people help themselves. In this first portion of our show, we'll meet Dena Nance, Executive Director of the Women's Exchange, and in the second segment, Dena and I will be joined by Denise Stewart, President of the Women's Exchange of Memphis. Joining us now is Denise Nance, Executive Director of the Women's Exchange of Memphis. Welcome. How are you, Dena?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Donna?
I'm doing great, and I'm just so glad that you're with us today. I'm so excited to feature the Women's Exchange. I've never had the Women's Exchange on my show, so this is an adventure for both of us.
Well, that's hard to believe. The Women's Exchange is a mainstay here in Memphis.
I know, and has been around forever and a day, so I'm very glad to welcome you today.
Thank you.
Now, tell me this. I know that you're the executive director of Women's Exchange. How did you become acquainted with the organization?
Well, I've grown up here in the Memphis area and knew all about the name as far as a place that you went for those beautiful baby clothes. Every baby shower I attended had something gorgeous unwrapped from a beautiful package from the Women's Exchange. And I had heard that it was the best lunch in town, but it was not something that was really ever on my beaten path. And I had the pleasure about a year and a half ago of being invited by a friend's mom to come have lunch with her there. She wanted me to repair some jewelry, and I have a history of making jewelry, and that was one of the things I was happy to do for her. And she just wanted a great lunch, so we stopped into the Women's Exchange. She was late, actually, so I found myself shopping through all the handmade items and gorgeous things that I didn't know were even for sale in Memphis. And I certainly was introduced to all kinds of new artists and handmade crafts. So I had done quite a bit of shopping before she even arrived for lunch. And that's when I got recruited as a jewelry designer to participate in one of their fundraising consignment sales.
And now you're the executive director.
So the next thing you know, you volunteer and you want to help because you see these wonderful ladies that are there with such great smiles and a simple giving spirit. And it was just a fun and happy place that I wanted to be more of a part of.
Well, I'm glad for that. Okay, so you know a lot about Women's Exchange and even more since you participated there. I do. I grew up in Memphis as well. But if you didn't know about Women's Exchange, in a nutshell, how do you describe it?
Well, everybody says there's Tenderloin Thursdays. That's because we have some of the most amazing food and soul food and then healthy options and everything served in our tea room. So people think of the Women's Exchange as the tea room as well. But the tea room is just a complimentary setting to what is really all about our marketplace. It is for handmade crafts and for consignor goods. This is one of the things that in the early ages of the 1880s movement for the Women's Exchange, it was all about creating an income opportunity for people who couldn't necessarily be out in the workplace and selling their own items.
I see. 1885, that's a very long time. Over time, you've probably changed a lot about what you do and how you do it, correct?
It's been more about how we do it, not so much what we do, because we're still selling the crafts for those people. We have consignors that, for instance, these beautiful patchwork animals and stuffed animals that are handmade, but they're made by this sweet lady who's a full-time caregiver for her husband in the home. So this is the only way that she can turn in some of her crafts and opportunity, her time into revenue that's much needed for her family.
Is she your typical consignor?
The consignors run the gamut. We have a story that every unique story, from young to old, from brand new first-time entrepreneurs to really legacy businesses that are needing a second wind. And a lot of times life happens and things fall on you. I actually had just recovered from some serious medical issues, had a pile of medical bills, and the inability to work in the manner in which I had before. So while I was going through my own neck and spine recovery, I was really happy to have this as a sales outlet for my own craft.
Yeah, to make your jewelry. And that, yeah, that's really wonderful. You could do that at home and recover at the same time.
Absolutely.
I've got my eye on that baby bonnet over there. That's a piece of what you call the sewing room, right?
Yes, our sewing room, like I said, is legendary. Many generations of Memphians have dressed their precious little ones in items that are handmade by our seamstresses. We have some seamstresses that do work in-house, but most of them work from their homes. This is almost a lost art of a particular type of sewing, all types of smocking laces that are just hard to find, I will say that, but premium laces, but also that hand touch of love and creativity that goes into each one of these. People are come from far and wide to get a christening gown from the Women's Exchange.
You know, I was just sharing a little bit ago, we had our first grandbaby join our family, and the very first gift my daughter ever got was a bonnet from Women's Exchange. And the very first gift that I gave our granddaughter was a bonnet from Women's Exchange. They are exquisite and beautiful, but I'm not alone in this. A lot of people pass things down, and they're heirlooms, are they not?
They do indeed. I think my pleasure with getting to do some of the marketing and advertising and things for the Women's Exchange also comes in the fact that I get to see all the pictures of these precious little babies and children wearing their things. And I have to say, I'm an Ole Miss grad, and so when I saw those little bloomers that said Hottie Toddy on the rear, I fell in love with them. But whether it's little personalized and customized things, or if it's weddings and christenings and special occasions for families. I mean, these are things that, you know, don't just get framed. They become the portraits on the wall, and they become the things passed down generation to generation.
That's really wonderful. Now, these are not the only things you sell there. You also have other sorts of things, correct?
Handcrafted items of all types. We are really one of the premier gift shops in the entire Memphis area. And again, you're not just buying something cool or something great for a wonderful price. You're actually supporting an individual here in our own community, which is great. I found Gwen with glow and glisten candles at the Memphis Pizza Festival, believe it or not. She was outside at 90 degrees sweating away to sell her candles that were melting faster than she could get them sold. But with one invitation to come to the Women's Exchange, she's one of the local crafters that just is making a fabulous product, and we can't keep it on the shelves.
I bet that's true. Well, so how do you find your consigners, or how do they find you?
A little of both. We definitely go out and we recruit right here in Germantown. We love the Germantown Festival each year. They bring in all kinds of handcrafted people, talented artists. So we found people at different local crafts fairs and festivals. We definitely love the fact that Facebook and Instagram brings us a lot of opportunity to connect. But then also the legacy of the Women's Exchange. We have been in that same location since the 1960s on Racine Street. And if you drop a pin on the map in Memphis, we're right in the center. So it's pretty easy to access everybody over in Arkansas, Mississippi, and all around the Mid-South.
Now, you spoke about the tea room and the sewing room. There's more, though, isn't there?
There's a lot more to the Women's Exchange. So you've got the shop, which is, like I said, the gift shop that's so important. But we also have an event space. And it's not just an event space, it's an art gallery, and it's a lot of things. So whether it's for classes and education, whether it's for social gatherings, which we sometimes do, we do a lot to celebrate art. We've got Art in the Tea Room that's just kicked off, which is a local art gallery initiative that rotates monthly. So come see our Hearts and Flowers exhibit that's out right now. In fact, they've even got one of my childhood art teachers is in there with her art, and it's so fun. And we've got all kinds of different people that just connect at the Women's Exchange. So our events are happening all the time. In fact, a couple hours from now, we're going to have a tea room full of ladies for our Valentine's English tea.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. It really does. You also are about to kick off a wonderful event called We Consign, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
This is our annual fundraiser. We have two annual fundraisers that we're very well known for, and that is We Consign in the spring, and then the Christmas shop around the holidays. We Consign, we call the best treasure shop in Memphis. It is antique furnishings, mirrors, lamps, rugs, collectibles, artwork. It's a little bit of everything. And this morning, in fact, one of our most discriminating tastemakers that is also a member of our club She came in and she said, this is by far the best collection of items I've seen anywhere in Memphis. So she's quite discriminating. That said something. So as we're taking in these wonderful treasures, we're getting ready to kick off a week from Sunday is our grand opening. It's on February 23rd.
February 23rd?
February 23rd from 2 to 5. And it's a party. So it's open to anybody to come shop and enjoy.
Well, you also get first pick, don't you?
You sure do. We don't have any holds. So it's a first come, first serve.
Well, and I'm thinking, we consign, if I see something that I want, should I get it right then, or?
You must. It will be gone before you make it back.
Okay, because it's not like there's 5 of them sitting there. There's one,
No,
right?
These are one-of-a-kind treasures, and there's fur coats this year that are beautiful. Like I said, there are just some incredible antiques. There's sterling silver, china, crystal. There's some incredible things, and when I tell you the deals are to be had. These things are priced to move.
I bet they are. I bet they are. Which benefits you and the consignor both, right?
It does. We follow the same consignor model with our special events as we do in our shop. And that's where the consignor gets 70% of the sales price, which is pretty significant. So if you're anyone, I'm an artist and creator, anybody else that's an artist or creator, even just looking to resell items that they have, then you'll know that it's hard to get more than half of the sales price anywhere. So 70% is really nice, and then that 30% is what we retain as our fundraising component and to try to keep the doors open of our marketplace.
Well, yes, because you actually have a facility. You have to keep the lights on.
We do, and it's an older facility, but we have wonderful parking. That's one of the biggest draws too. So if you come in for lunch and to shop and all that, you can actually spend a whole day at the Women's Exchange. We just recently started Fireside Fridays, so on the Friday afternoons, sit by the fire here in the winter days. It's really nice. Just stay, play games, have some coffee. And we've laughed that several people have said they've shut down many an institution, but they had never shut down the Wii before.
And that's funny, you do call it the Wii.
The Wii.
I had a real discussion with a friend of mine about that who kept calling it that, and I said, no. I said, it's Woman's Exchange. She said, no, it's Wii. So you do call it the Wii of Memphis.
It is the Wii of Memphis. That is our website, and it's the Wii Memphis on social. But that is also so encompassing because it's a Wii. It's a community hub. It's a place where whether you're part of our membership and social organization or if you're just a customer consignor, I say just a customer consignor, that's part of the We. We do even rent out our facility, our garden room, and our other event space for events and such. So more and more people are starting to call the We their own home, away from home.
That's really wonderful. Well, listen, Dena, will you stay with me a few minutes because we're going to be joined by your president here in a moment. Will you stay?
I would love to.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks, Donna.
And we're going to pause now for a short break. When we return, Women's Exchange Executive Director Dena Nance and I will be joined by Denise Stewart, President of the Women's Exchange of Memphis.
The reason I chose art is because I love many aspects of art, such as the fact of being able to draw what you like or draw from your imagination.
Art does open the horizon of the mind. You have to have a certain type of mindset and mind to be an artist.
I think the arts are really important because they provide students with that safe space. They provide them a space where they can express themselves, they can be who they really want to be.
I've always been interested in art, even though I haven't always been good at it. And I think it's like my primary form of self-expression. I feel safest in an art classroom. I like the community, and I like to experiment with other mediums.
At Germantown High School, we offer a variety of art classes. We have our introductory art classes, Art 1 Honors. We also have the AP Art and the International Baccalaureate Art program as well.
When it comes to students who feel like they cannot draw or do any kind of visual art, that's my territory. They often come in saying, Mr. Weddle, I can't do this. And I say, well, relax, you're in the right area.
I want them to learn new techniques, try new media, develop skills that they're proud of in the arts.
I think the idea of being able to present something, an idea, their own work, a concept, those are exercises that we do in our class every day.
It's really fun because you get to really do things at your own speed and you get to really experiment with a lot of things.
It's a very eye-opener for me. It helped me determine what I wanted to do in life. It helped me a lot what I wanted to major in, how I wanted to do it, what plan I wanted to follow.
Don't give up. Always keep persevering, always keep trying, and keep doing, because you'll always learn something new and you'll find something else that you want to do. And when you find something you want to do and you love to do it, continue doing it and continue finding new things to love about it.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Donna Newman, and you're watching Inspiring Leaders. Our topic today is Women's Exchange of Memphis, and we're pleased to continue talking with Executive Director Dena Nance and to be joined by the President of the Women's Exchange, Denise Stewart. Thank you for staying with us, Dena, and welcome, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad to have you both. This is such an iconic Memphis tradition and treasure that I'm very happy to welcome Women's Exchange today.
Thank you.
Okay, Denise, there are 3,500 nonprofits in our general area. Why choose Women's Exchange? How did you become acquainted with them? And why did you decide to dedicate your time, talent, and treasure?
I started as a member in 2008, and that's a long time. I spent a lot of time back in the event room designing for the art galleries and for the Women's Exchange weekend sign that we have every year, and I always enjoyed that creative outlet. I couldn't find that outlet anywhere else, so I just kept coming, and I really wasn't interested in leadership at the time. But over time, I finally accepted the challenge, and I must have, I don't know, been called it a weak spot or something. I don't know. Something happened, but anyway, I decided it was time.
Someone talked you into being president.
Someone talked me into that. That's exactly what happened.
That's a really big job. You know, basically you're running a small business, aren't you?
That's exactly how I think of it every day.
A small business and a tea room along with it, and just all kinds of, I can't even imagine. And you did it so long as just the president and no executive director, no one on payroll to support, just a volunteer. How did that happen, and how's it changed since we have an executive director now?
Our executive director, Dena Nance, is fabulous. She is the answer to all my prayers. I could not have done this without an executive director, and that was part of the stipulation.
Was it
being
really?
President, whether I was going to have an executive director.
We came as a package deal.
It was a package deal. We are a club that owns a business. But if you can't maintain the club and take care of your membership, how are you going to have the business? Because that's what we do. We work in the tea room and we serve in the shop.
That's exactly true, and I've been many, many times myself, and I've seen your ladies and how willingly they give of themselves. It's that's an interesting club, by the way, and it's a club that works really, really hard. Each of your members do. Who is your typical member?
Our typical member, I can say, we have members from their 20s to their 80s.
Really?
And there is a job for everybody. For anybody that has a servant heart that would like to participate, we are welcoming and open and look forward to having them join us.
You know, your entire mission boils down to helping others help themselves, right?
Yes.
Since the 1885, right? So how do your members focus on that? I mean, they are serving as well, but what all do they do?
I think that our members, and I've been asked this before, do we get paid? And I say, we are paid in joy, in the joy of serving others. And a lot of volunteerism is a bit on the decline right now, and I think there are 3 reasons why people volunteer. Is they have suddenly find themselves a lot of time on their hands, or they're looking to make new friends that are like-minded, or they truly have a servant's heart.
And
they
maybe
just
all
want to
3,
give.
right?
And maybe all 3. And people, we have members that come to us and they don't know that they have servants' hearts until they have felt that joy.
And it truly is a joy, isn't it?
It is. And to speak to exactly what your question was, how do these people actually help others help themselves? You know, I was brought in as a consignor to sell my jewelry at a time where my arms and hands barely worked. They were my arms and hands, lots of them.
I see.
And those same arms and hands went around me and hugged me and supported me through recovery.
And you didn't even know you needed the hug.
Didn't know I needed it.
Yeah, and there it was. So
There it was.
they are contributing on all levels then, right?
Most
All levels.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're even mentoring women too, aren't you? Haven't y'all?
Absolutely. From helping people that have a business plan already in place, and it's everything from helping them with packaging and branding and various business type details. But then you've also got some that just need encouragement and they need confidence to pursue what it is they're doing. Artists are quite often their hardest critics themselves. So just the ability to come into a really safe space that's very supportive and encouraging of someone expressing themselves through their artistic talent is very important. We even did the kids youth art camp last year. And that was really neat, getting to go out into the community, helping provide 21st century art skills by professional instructors to kids in the community, and then bringing them in, hanging their works in our art gallery for sale, and getting to do the
was such
entrepreneurial
fun.
side. That was a lot of fun.
So when you say kids in the community, you mean high schoolers or college students?
This
or-
It was all ages. I say probably 8 years to 15 or 16.
We actually partner with a club called Icon Ministries Club Nathan, and they had a camp going on, so that was the best time for us to come in and actually use that camp time to incorporate the art component. And then we've also worked with White Station High School, providing books on the artpreneur and books on everything from upcycling your crafts and selling them and all that. So it's really all about trying to help those artistic endeavors turn into how do you make that become income for your overall success.
And the young artists who did the work actually made the money too.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, 70%.
Well, with the children's artists, they made 100%.
Oh, that's even better, isn't it? That's
Yes.
really good. So you were able to contribute on two levels to that. That's
Absolutely.
great. Also encourage them into becoming entrepreneurs themselves, right? That's really wonderful. So your typical consignor is all over the board, isn't it? Your typical shopper, who is that?
Well, I'm so excited. I get to look around the shop on any given day and see men, women, children. Recently, one of the little girls had a dentist appointment, and she asked her grandmother to please bring her to the Women's Exchange, and she said it was her favorite place on earth because she wanted to come in. She loved seeing the stuffed animals, and she was over on our other side aisle, and she was actually looking at some of the handmade scarves and begging her granny to buy something for herself. She said, "Granny, you always buy for me. Why don't you buy something for yourself?"
Oh, that's lovely.
So great stories that happen every day. We definitely know that we'll see a few gentlemen in there this week getting their Valentine gifts.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure that's absolutely true. Okay, so your club actually does keep the lights on, right, Denise?
Yes, we do.
So
we
how
provide
do-
that marketplace.
So how in the world do you make the money to do that?
Well, a lot of different ways. Not only do we receive dues from our members, because it's our honor to be able to contribute to that. We have donations and sponsorships and grants,
And then you,
and of course our retail sales.
you're 30%, right?
30%.
So all of that helps. So if I'm watching this program right now and I want to help, how do I do that?
Connect with us right away. We are very easy to access. So whether you come through our doors to have lunch with us and come see us in person, if you call us, if you email us, get on Facebook, Instagram, or through our website, we really just want to hear from people about how they think that they could be a part of the Women's Exchange. There's so many different facets to what we do that it really makes for an open door that's for a lot of different things. We're currently seeking corporate sponsorships for some of our upcoming events. We definitely want to find more and more crafters, consigners, and gourmet food. We've got so many phenomenal local chefs in our midst that are coming to introduce their wares, and we've been starting Tasting Tuesdays. You need to come for one of those.
Okay, so Tasting Tuesdays allows the chef to exhibit their wares, right?
Yes, we just had Sourdough Creations, a brand new bakery in the area, came in with all the sourdough loaves.
Delicious.
Fantastic stuff. So you get to sample a little something, and then we tend to sell out on our Tasting Tuesdays.
We did, first day. day.
And I was going to say, as a shopper, I would love to bring something like that home and impress my friends with something different that they've never seen or heard of, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you've just met the creator, and you've heard the story, and you know where your money's going.
And you know that it is helping someone help themselves, right? So that's got to be very gratifying. No wonder you and your other members are in this organization, Denise. That's really inspiring. It truly is. So tell me what we think we're going to do from here. Where are we going to go from here, Denise?
Well, we're hoping to offer some programs to, for instance, the young artist, some entrepreneurship type classes, or to some of our consigners. Our plan is to help people lift them up before they actually get too far down. So let's get them up and going and making some money and being self-sufficient.
So all these years, you pretty much kept the same mission, but gone about it in a different way, right?
Right now, there's a huge push for everybody to have a lot more tech-savvy abilities and a lot of do-it-yourself digital skills in the world today as an artist, whether it's knowing how to brand yourself or just execute and make sure that you kind of sell bigger than you are until you become something and established, to be able to hire that out. So those are things that we can help with, and it's really nice to be able to have such a resource bank of ways to help all these different people that come our way.
You know, your website is really wonderful. It actually, and it makes a statement, something about coming to lunch. What does that say again? Coming to lunch or shopping, any of those things basically help you, right?
They do, they do. It's not one of those things where there's necessarily one channel to support the Women's Exchange. You can support it. I always tell people, even if you don't live in the area, if you're somewhere else, giving us a like, giving us a follow, tagging your friend on what we're doing, even in the social atmosphere, just helping spread the word, because the word will reach the person who's in need.
That is wonderful. Well, I want to thank you ladies for all that you do for our community. And I want to thank you for having the treasure of the Women's Exchange for me to bring my daughter to and all of her friends. And
Please do.
It's wonderful. It's a tremendous tradition in our family and in the community. So I'm glad to see it. And thank you ladies for being here. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you for this opportunity, Donna.
Thank you for being with us today for Inspiring Leaders. We appreciate our guests on today's show, Dena Nance and Denise Stewart, both with the Women's Exchange of Memphis. Our community benefits greatly from their work, and so please remember to support the Women's Exchange of Memphis as you schedule a lunch date, plan a special event, or shop for that very special gift. Choosing Women's Exchange allows each of us to help someone help themselves. And if what you've heard on today's show has inspired you to donate or to get involved with the Women's Exchange of Memphis, their website is weofmemphis.org. Again, weofmemphis.org. If you're interested in the air dates of Inspiring Leaders or for the station's complete programming information, then visit GHS-TV.org, where we're streaming live 24 hours a day. You can keep up with GHS-TV by visiting our website. We hope you'll like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you again for joining us, and be sure and watch our show, Inspiring Leaders, again next month.